Welcome to the Knowleaf podcast. Today we are in Sonoma County Fairgrounds at the beautiful Hall of Flowers. So today we have Vince with Nabis.
He is going to talk to us a little bit about his company, Cannabis. Well, Nabis, right? Nabis.
That's correct, yeah.
Half part of cannabis.
Okay, cool.
Well, we have to now because he just,
he just jumps in.
All right, here we are, Hall of Flowers, day 2. So excited to sit here, be here. This day is going to be even more packed than it was yesterday. Here we have Vince from Nabis, who's here to talk a little bit about your company. So tell us, what is Nabis all about?
Nabis is a cannabis distribution company based in California. We're the largest distributor. We're very tech focused, and everything that we do runs through our web platform. We ship around $60 to $70 million worth of wholesale products a year, and we work with almost 80 brands now. A lot of the brands come from top tier in each category. We've kind of seen it all, and we kind of see where the trends are going. It's pretty crazy.
Where do you think the trends will be going in like the next 5 years, 5-10 years? Do you have those projected, or are you just sort of like, all right, it's sort of like where I think it's gonna go?
It's hard to say. I mean, this is I guess like year 2 of the legal rec market, so none of this sort of data or information has been tracked before in the cannabis industry, and still a lot of it is a lot of the commerce is happening in the illicit market. And so, as far as like, to answer your question, 5 to 10 years later, I do think a lot of the beverages will come up, edibles, all that sort of stuff. But currently, probably 30 to 40% of the market's still, flower, pre-rolls, that sort of stuff, and a lot of vapes.
Wow. Yeah. And does Nabis offer that?
Yeah.
Flower, pre-rolls, vapes, edibles?
Yeah, pretty much like CBD, all categories. Minus hemp. We don't do hemp.
No hemp. Okay.
Yeah, because you don't need a license for that.
Over all categories.
All categories, cannabis derived. Yeah.
Wow. And how did you guys, become so successful?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I started this company with my best friend from home, and then we've always just wanted to start a business together, and cannabis was one of those things that we initially had bonded on when we were kids. So, when we kind of found out that this market was becoming recreationally legal, it was definitely something to take a look at.
Jump into.
Yeah, and our professional background comes from the tech industry.
Right.
I used to work at Microsoft as an engineer. My co-founder used to work at Facebook as an engineer.
Amazing.
And then, kind of as technologists always are looking out for is just new markets or new areas where you can kind of apply those sort of skill sets and like automation and tools to help make the supply chain more efficient. And cannabis was just like perfect for that, because it was like, perfectly like aligned with our passions and interests, but then also it allowed us to exercise and practice like what we've learned professionally.
Oh, perfect. So tell us about the name Nabis.
Yeah.
Where does that derive from?
Yeah, Nabis is the second part of the word cannabis. So a lot of the companies go with cannabis and cannavat. We just went with the second half of it.
Like Nabis.
Nabis, exactly.
Nabis. I like that a lot. That's
exactly.
Great. So you guys are located in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Where?
So Los Angeles, close to Burbank and North Hollywood.
Perfect.
And then we also have another warehouse in Oakland.
Wow.
Close to the Oakland airport.
Wow.
And then we also have an office in SF too.
So what do the warehouses look like? Like, what do they contain? Just packaging? Just plants? Or like what does it look like inside of there?
Yeah.
When you open up the doors,
Yeah, it's interesting. The kind of scale that we see now is just, there's a lot of boxes everywhere. It's like, it almost looks like normal distribution, but then because, it is a plant and it's like it's a perishable thing. It's a living plant. Basically, we have to keep it temperature controlled. Everything has to be, organized just because there's so many different products and strains. And so, everything has to be super organized and clean when we, when we operate.
And it's amazing because you open the door, you're just like, wow, this is what's making me money right now. And this was not supposed to make me money like 10 years ago.
Exactly. The size of operation we have, we would get busted so fast.
And you guys are constantly growing. And growing. Correct? So in this growth, how do you organize your brand, and where do you want your brand to reach in terms of awareness?
Yeah, as far as the awareness goes, I mean, we mainly stand for, giving everyone a fair shot to get to market. As a distributor, we act from the state's perspective as like the gatekeepers for wholesale product before it reaches the retail market. And so everything we release into the market, we want to make sure that it's compliant, fully tested, and it, is a high grade type of product.
Right.
And as far as our brand ethos go, we act as kind of like a carrier right now in the industry, doing shipping, logistics, storage, all that sort of stuff. And, we want to help out as much of the supply chain as possible. And that's also, to your earlier question, like what's contributed to a lot of our growth is that, we're not trying to gouge people. We're just trying to help everyone in the industry, not give any sort of like favorable preferences to anyone in particular, but, help everyone be able to gain that sort of statewide access to the newly legalized cannabis market.
Yeah, of course. So I'm sure that you probably had some complications, with just
to say the least. Yeah.
Federal. How does this? How do we regulate this?
Yeah.
And talk about that a little bit. Talk about like how do banking.
Yeah.
Where did you find the loopholes and how did you solve them?
Yeah. I mean, there's I don't even know where to start with like regulation. There's so many different challenges that we have to go through to operate in the cannabis industry that goes way further than what you would normally have to in a regular business. So like to your point with banking, that's something that normally you would just like not even think twice about. You set up your bank account and like money comes in, money goes out. And here you have to basically find the right banking partner. A lot of the industry still works in cash because not everyone has found the right banking partner. I would say 90% of the industry is still cash based, and then the rest is check. You can't, like Visa, MasterCard, none of those guys, major banks won't allow you to operate in the cannabis industry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely going to change though.
Yeah.
I think banks are trying to figure out how.
Yep.
If they come to events like this, if I was a banker and I came to an event like this, I would go to my bank and be like, yo, we got to switch things up.
Yeah.
We got to let these guys in.
Yeah.
Because it's important. And like you say, this is your second time here at Hall of Flowers.
Right.
Correct?
Yep.
And every time you come, do you see more and more vendors, more and more booths?
Absolutely. Yeah, more booths, more vendors, more brands, more operators. Banking providers as well. I think everyone who's an operator is, in full belief that this industry is here to stay and is here to grow.
Right.
As far as, banking goes, it's mainly just like a federal restriction because every major bank is federally chartered. From that respect, because it's still federally illegal, there's so many different like compliance, loops you have to jump through just to be able to bank through a lot of these major partners. And, I think in the same way, capital on the other side coming in from an investment perspective, it's very similar too, where, investors and institutional funds have these sorts of like investment mandates where they don't allow them to invest in cannabis as it once was a vice industry.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And so now people are starting to be more convinced that this is the thing.
Yeah. And trusting that is the most important thing, I think, from my perspective too. Mm-hmm. Relationships you build along the way.
Yeah.
And goodness, now we're here and I just can't believe it. Sometimes
I know.
You're like, I can't believe I'm here right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how big is your team?
We have close to 100 people in the company now.
People in the company. Wow. And how small were you when you started? Just you and your partner?
Just me and my partner.
So when you were trying to bring people on board, what was like incentives for them to trust that you guys were going to like not fail?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I think everyone, at least as far as like our age and our generation, we grew up with cannabis being a part of our lives, and I think as consumers, we were convinced that this was going to be an industry that's here to stay. But convincing someone to work and quit their full-time jobs and convince their parents to quit that this is okay is like a whole nother ordeal. I didn't even tell my parents for a while.
Yeah.
But I think it was a matter of making sure that as we were operating, that we were kind of loud and outspoken about the fact that we were, fully compliant in the way that we operated. Mm-hmm. And, we wanted to, play by the rules and make sure that we built a business around, the legal restrictions that are, here in the rec market. Mm-hmm. And I think that gave a lot of people comfort to kind of join on board and help support and skyrocket the industry.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are growing.
Yeah.
100 people is a lot of people to take care of.
It's a lot of people to take care of, yeah.
Make sure that they're all good.
Yeah.
How many people are here today?
I would say maybe like 10 people are
10
here today.
people. How many
Yeah.
booths do you guys have?
We have one booth. It's like a large arena booth, and then we're launching a couple of brands through us this month, and so a few of them have like sub booths within ours to kind of like get a little bit of extra activation through our booth.
So how do you find these brands? Like, why do you want to partner with them so that your product is with theirs as well?
Yeah, so for us as a distributor, I think the value that we provide is we provide economies of scale in the market, and so to give consumers, to give the product like a fair price at the end of the day, we basically as a logistics provider bundle up all these sorts of products, and we become this very much like a one-stop shop for a bunch of products, and so it helps create a lot of network effects in our business to basically have 70, 100, 200 brands on our platform, very much like an Amazon model where you as a consumer can go on and like shop for anything in the world.
I think it also simplifies a lot of things too in this industry that things might not be so transparent.
Totally.
And when you have simplicity with the drug that is coming from the illicit market, and you're just like thankful for the distributor to be like, thank you so much for providing this space for me just to pick and choose. Yeah. What kind of exciting things can you talk about that are going to be launching in the future for you?
Yeah, so, well, for one, first thing we wanted to do is get statewide reach as a distributor. That helped us, convince a lot of the brands to start shipping on our platform and start using our distribution services, so that, as a brand, you can turn on immediate, like, statewide access, at once. And then the next thing we wanted to do was make it super streamlined and easy to ship products through us. And then eventually what we want to be able to do is help make the communication and streamlining that sort of process easier for retail buyers. Right now they're basically talking and doing this whole product discovery phase of their research very manually, and super relationship driven, which is awesome. But then at the same time it's like kind of manual. All this communication's going through texts, emails, all that sort of stuff, and buyers sometimes can't figure out like how much inventory is available coming from the wholesale side of things to be able to like replenish what's on their shelves. And so to kind of make sure that no product that they want to sell ever goes empty on their shelves at the retail store, that's kind of what we want to do and help kind of continue to lubricate in the industry, is just making sure that flywheel of products going in and out is continuous and faster. And now we provide 48-hour kind of like Amazon Prime level shipping experience. We also offer like a 98% on-time delivery rate, successful delivery rate. So people when they purchase a product, they get the product. That's like what we're used to.
So how about products that expire?
Products that expire,
What do you do with those?
Yeah, so there's kind of like two ways to deal with it. I mean, you can, like not physically you could, but legally you do have to dispose it beyond recognition. So most people end up burning it. So that's, but probably not into their lungs, mostly. There's services out there now that, come to your like offices and basically take over the expired product or non-compliant product, if you will, and then they take it back to their waste disposal plant, and then they dispose of it on their own.
Wow, I didn't know. I was like, this is so cool. What do you do with expiration? Does it expire? And I was like, this does expire. I was smoking old weed probably back in the day that was super expired.
Exactly.
So how do we find Nabis? Like, how does someone who's curious about cannabis, who wants to know like who to trust, where to go, how do you find Nabis? Like online? Is just the best way to do it? Websites, Instagram?
Yeah, so
guys out there?
I would say the best place to go is nabis.com.
Nabis.com?
Nabis.com.
Nabis.com.
Yep, and then we also have an Instagram too. It's at GetNabis, GetNabis.
Nabis. Perfect.
Yep.
So what goal do you have here today at Hall of Flowers?
Yeah, it's to meet more brands, and we're launching more of our tech platform as well, and building that kind of layer of transparency in the industry that's much needed to help scale everything.
And coming from the tech side, that shouldn't be too hard for you to build a platform and continuously build a platform.
I think I mean it's not rocket science, but at the same time, I think the challenges come when there's a lot of like legal compliance and regulation that we have to bake into the software that we have to consider. And so that's what makes it challenging and interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time here today to talk about Nabis, and I'm really thankful because this is so insightful for just people who are just learning and experts as well.
Yeah.
Because like when you get the word out, when you come to events like this, it's a sort of like an out of body experience.
It
physically
is.
And like also like mentally to see how organized this is becoming.
Right. Yeah.
It's even going to get bigger and better.
It's super professional. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Maya.
You're so welcome. So Nabis, don't forget, this is the one time that I'm going to be speaking here with this amazing guy who has done so much. And I think, it's good to say positive too in the industry because you switched industries really quickly. You were just like, no, I see this and I want to be more successful and do something different probably. Right?
Yeah.
Like how you want to make an impact in your life.
Exactly.
Correct? Any last words you can say for people who are interested in coming into cannabis, working in the industry? Right.
Yeah. I mean, I would say honestly, find the right people to work with. Talk to as many people as you can in the industry. I think the community is still small as much as like the industry is big and is going to be bigger. Yeah. Just the people here at Hall of Flowers. There's like everyone that you should probably know is probably here. Yeah. And coming to these events, meeting people face to face is probably the best way to get the pulse on the industry.
Yes. Are you gonna go out there and test some product?
Yeah, probably later today.
That sounds good. Let me know which ones you like.
Yeah, well, certainly. Yeah, I'll drop you off some.
Thank you so much, Vince. I hope you have a really, really, really good day today.
Yeah, thanks, Maya.
That's us. We're here at Knowleaf. We're the podcast where you can just bring the know and we'll connect you to the leaf. We're gonna see you later on today when we interview more people.
Cool. Thanks, Maya.
Bye.
Bye.
The Knowleaf podcast brings you the stories of the cultivators, manufacturers, brands, dispensaries, and cannabis professionals to help consumers like you find the best value and support a movement that you truly believe in. We are in the know, we connect people to the leaf, and we want you to know leaf. Sign up on our website and tune in.